Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about why they call it practicing medicine. I had 3 brushes with death, and made worse probably by the American medical system, and I can laugh about it now, but it was no joke at the time. So let's get into it. Okay, so picture this. I'm 56. Life is good. I'm going through life with all the highs and the lows, but I have not 1, not 2, but 3 brushes with death. All medical issues and all things that probably had they been taken care of a little better, I might have come out a little better on it. Let me take you back to 2018 when life decided to throw me a curveball. I was 50 years old. Life was amazing. I was running a business. I was dating. I was dancing. Life couldn't have been better. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't. Out of nowhere, I was exhausted. I mean, like, couldn't pick myself up off the floor, tired. And that was not like me at all. So I did something that was completely out of character. I stayed home from work. Remember, I was running a business. I was in bed for a week. I could get up, use the bathroom, and get something light to eat and go right back to bed. I wasn't nauseous. I didn't have any other headaches. I didn't have any symptoms other than the fact that I was weak as a kitten and just wanted to sleep. My daughter would call me to check on me, and I would be like, I just need to sleep. I'll sleep it off. You know, I've always been kind of positive about that kind of stuff, so I really didn't worry too much about it. I figured I'd gotten a virus, and I don't get sick a lot, so I just thought I'd sleep it off. Well, finally, after a week of not coming into work, her not seeing me and really talking to me too much, she stopped by. And when she came into the bedroom, and it was kind of dark in there, the curtains drawn and stuff, she came over and she says, Mom, how you doing? You know, and I said, well, I'm just tired. I just need to sleep, but I'm okay. I don't, no other symptoms. And she says, you don't look right. Get up. Let's go look in the mirror. So I got up and we walked over to the mirror and she flipped on the light and I was yellow. I mean, my eyes looked like they belonged to the Grinch who stole Christmas, and my skin looked like it had been dipped in mustard. I didn't know what to think. And she says, Mom, that's not good. That's not good. Of course, she's the Google queen. So she's immediately, you know, your liver's failing or something, you know, she's going through all the things. So she took me to the hospital and we went to the ER closest to our home. So I laid out in the hallway on a gurney for hours. It was flu season, so they were busy and no one really paid much attention to me. I could hardly open my eyes. I slept through most of it, but I guess it was hours because my daughter sat with me. When they finally came over and kind of checked things out, I think they drew some blood or something, I can't remember now, but they realized that my liver was failing and failing quickly. And so they admitted me and kept doing tests, but they couldn't figure out what was wrong. However, the doctor there was saying I needed a liver transplant and I needed it now. So I'm out of it. I'm like, yeah, whatever you need to do, you know. My kids are like offering to donate part of their liver. I mean, we've got this whole discussion going on around me. 2 or 3 days go by and there's really no action being taken, just a lot of talk. And I was seen by the doctor like once a day and they're giving me nothing. I'm just kind of laying in a hospital bed, the same as I was when I came in, and nobody's really doing anything. My daughters are getting crazy about it. They want to, you know, talk to somebody, find out what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Finally, I guess the specialist comes in one evening and he says, you know, I'm not sure what's going on. I don't want to cut into you if I don't have to. Things aren't good, but I think you need to be at a hospital that knows a little more about what's going on. So they threw me in an ambulance and sent me up to the UW hospital in Seattle. And when I got there, it was a completely different ball game. They already had the records and the blood tests and everything that they had been doing. They knew immediately what was wrong, gave me some meds. I had to stay there a week to recover, but it was a virus. It kicked it. I was good to go. Within a few days, I was feeling amazing on whatever this concoction they gave me, and I felt better. But the funnest part about it is that the UW is a training hospital. And so when I started feeling a little bit better, they would bring in students and let them ask me questions about my symptoms and how I was feeling and try to figure out what was wrong. So I got to kind of play actor there a little bit. That was fun. But anyway, they treated me wonderful. I felt great, went home, and that was the end of that. But that first hospital, I mean, they were just kind of dragging their feet. And I don't know why, to this day, why it was so hard for them to figure out what was wrong. And then when I got to the next hospital, they just knew immediately and took care of it. So be your own advocate, people. Ask questions. So then let's fast forward to 2019. I'm being a good little girl. I'm feeling pretty good. I got past the whole liver thing and life's back on a roll. And I go in for my yearly mammogram like a good little girl, you know, even though I hate all that stuff. So I went in for my mammogram like I normally do. I got a call a couple days later. We need you to come back in for probably an ultrasound and maybe even a biopsy. This did not bother me at all. This was completely normal. I felt like this is what everybody always did because for me, I don't know, it was normal. About every other mammogram I had to go in for, you know, extra like ultrasounds and biopsies. And so I've been through this before, so I didn't think anything of it. So I went and did it. And then a few days after that, I get a phone call and the text says, we need you to come in so that we can discuss your results. That was new and not a good kind of new. Why would they need me to come in to talk about results? This was something that had never happened before. So I kind of kept it to myself and I went to the appointment by myself, trying to keep a positive attitude that maybe there was just something weird going on, you know. So when I got there, she sat me down and she told me I had breast cancer. And I not only had breast cancer, but I had a very rare breast cancer that was very aggressive and growing at a rate of 60%. I didn't know what any of that meant, but it didn't sound good. She sent me home with a 3-ring binder full of cancer patient resources. I guess that was supposed to make me feel good. Honestly, I never even opened the 3-ring binder. But from that point, it was a lot of hurry up and wait. I met with a surgeon, I met with an oncologist, I met with a radiologist, all within, you know, just a few days. And then they took it upon themselves to discuss my case and decide what needed to be done. And they decided surgery would be first. So I went in for the surgery for a lumpectomy. And when the surgery was over, the surgeon came in and he made it undoubtedly clear to me that he had gotten the entire tumor. All the margins were clear. And as far as he was concerned, I was cancer free. Fine, let's get on with life. I'm good. Let's go. No. Now I meet with the oncologist because you still meet with everybody. The oncologist tells me, I know that's what he said, but we need to be sure. So my recommendation is we start you on chemo for 12 rounds. And it's a very aggressive chemo, but it'll take care of this. And I'm like, I don't like the sounds of that. But my 2 daughters who love me dearly didn't want to lose me. And I didn't want to be stubborn. So I said, okay, I'll do the chemo. So we start chemo. The first round, the next day it actually felt pretty good because they always shoot you up with steroids, you know, with the chemo that kind of keeps you going. So the next day I felt pretty good, but then I hit a wall. I felt like crap for a few days. And then just about the time I started feeling better, time for round 2, because I went every week. Got the second round of chemo, and this time felt okay the second day, but then I really hit a wall and my hair started to fall out. Second round, my hair was already falling out. I did not want to mess with the stress of seeing my hair go down the drain or land in my hairbrush, so I had my daughters come over and we're hairstylists, and so they shaved my head, and I decided I was just going to be bald. I tried wigs and things, but they were too hot. I just rocked the bald. In fact, I even went, after I was feeling a little better, I even went as Uncle Fester for Halloween, and my grandkids loved it. But anyway, my hair fell out after the second one. By the third round, now this whole time I am not seeing the doctor. I'm just seeing nurses and the people that give you the chemo and stuff. And, you know, apparently I only see him once a month or something. So by the third round, I still haven't seen the doctor. My hair's fallen out. And now I'm starting to get these like little pimples or blisters, but they were kind of pussy, kind of scattered on my head, and they're painful. They're not like just pimples. They're painful. And I mean, it hurt to like sleep at night and stuff. And so I ended up, whatever little hair was growing in, I would actually take, you guys are going to laugh, I would actually take duct tape and like rip whatever hair was in my head off, because it was like needles on my head. So that's just me. But anyway, so now I'm just really not feeling good, and all I'm getting from the staff at the oncology place is, oh, it's normal, you'll be fine, it's normal to not feel good, chemo's pretty rough, blah blah blah, you know, giving me all this stuff, and I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, I'm a tough cookie. Fourth time I went in, now I've got way more blisters on my head, my eyes are hollow, I'm feeling like crap, still no doctor. I go through the fourth round. I go home. Steroids don't make me feel better. I just don't want to get out of bed for almost a week before I could get up again. Now I'm not even really able to work anymore. I was working, and it's bad. And so fifth week, remember, I'm supposed to go 12 times. Fifth week, I go in. This time I actually get to see the doctor. And I went in and I sat down. I mean, it was all I could do to get there. I get there, I sit down, and I'm just kind of, you know, sitting there. He comes in and he goes, oh, wow, you're done. We're not doing this anymore. I says, you think? And my head was just covered with these boils or whatever they were. My eyes were hollow. My eyes were kind of got that sick look to them. He says, yeah, no more chemo for you. It was killing me. The chemo was killing me. I was apparently cancer free, but just in case, we're going to pump you full of poison for 12 weeks. No, it only made it 4 weeks, and it almost killed me. So then off to the radiologist, and now they want to do 30 weeks of radiation, targeted radiation at the spot where they had taken out the lump. And I'm like, what? Why? But again, my family, you know, they're like, you know, Mom, we just want to make sure, we don't want to lose you. This would come back. Now, I will tell you that I felt like every time I went into the oncologist or the radiologist, I felt like it was a sales pitch. Like they were scaring you into doing these treatments. And unfortunately, it worked on my family. And so to appease them, I would do it. Now, honestly, radiation was a walk in the park. Yeah, I've got, you know, some discoloration there now, and it burned and all that kind of stuff, but it was a walk in the park next to chemo. So don't ever be afraid of radiation, you know. I'm sure I kind of glowed in the dark by the end of the 30 days, but it didn't affect me the way chemo did. So I get through the 30 days of every day going to radiation and then going to work, you know, and I was getting my strength back. And then I go back to see the oncologist again, just to kind of, I'm thinking we're just going to like wrap this up now. No, now he wants me, just in case, to do another round of chemo. This would be a year long, not as hefty of stuff that I was on before, but it would be a year long. I'd come in I think it was every 3 weeks, to target this particular cancer, just to make sure it won't come back. I didn't have my kids with me. And I says, no. And he actually got angry with me. And he said, if you don't do this, there is a 20% chance that this cancer is going to come back and it's going to kill you this time. Really? Well, I just heard you say 80% chance that it won't. And he rolled his eyes, and I got up and I left, and I've been cancer free ever since. I'm still getting my mammograms and stuff, so knock on wood. But I felt like he was trying to scare me into doing more of this poison, and my cancer was gone. And I don't live in fear. And so that was that. So fast forward to 2020. I'm just finishing up my treatments by now, you know. And I got the news that the government was shutting down my business the same day I got the news that my baby girl, who was 30, was diagnosed with the same cancer. Now, she kicked its butt too. She was a little more compliant with the doctors and did a lot more than I did, but she got rid of the cancer. She's fine. So that's another story for another day. But anyway, so she's going through her chemo and stuff at that time. And then all of a sudden I start getting, you know, we're sitting at home, we're in quarantine. All of a sudden I'm starting to feel really tired again, like really tired. And I'm like, oh my God, is my liver shutting again now because of that damn chemo? and I'm just tired. So after a couple of weeks of this, and it's really not going away, and I've got this kind of weird pain right here. Not really in my throat, just kind of a dull kind of, So I call my primary and I make an appointment. And as soon as I walk up to the reception desk with my mask, I'm doing all the things. I walk up to the reception desk and I tell her, yeah, I'm here. And she goes, well, what seems to be the problem? I says, well, I got a little bit of a sore throat. You would have think I said I had leprosy. She almost kicked me out of there. She's like, no. You can't be in here with a sore throat. We got COVID, blah, 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 blah. You need to go downstairs to the COVID clinic and get tested before you can come in here, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? So the COVID clinic was able to get me in. I went down. The COVID doctor did give me an exam, looked at my throat, my ears, my nose, blah, blah. Didn't find anything wrong. He says, I don't think you have COVID, but we're going to test you anyway. So he tested me. It was negative, whatever. But I had missed my appointment. Now I can't see my primary. So I talked to my primary through my chart, and she says, well, let me set you up with an ear, nose, throat doctor, because if the guy down at COVID didn't find anything, I probably won't either. And so let's have you see a specialist. So a couple weeks go by. I'm dealing with this kind of dull pain. I'm still tired, feeling like crap. I forgot to tell you, the COVID doctor gave me antibiotics just in case, so I took those. It didn't help. So I go to the ear, nose, throat doctor. He looks me over and doesn't find anything wrong, sends me home. Still feeling like shit, really tired. No other symptoms other than just kind of really tired, just like before. And I'm like, why isn't anybody checking? But they're focused on the COVID and the throat and the things. So like another week goes by or so, and I end up taking myself to the ER because I'm really getting weak and I'm really not feeling good. And so I go to the local ER, same one that almost took my liver out. And as soon as I mention I'm having this pain, after I tell them I'm weak, blah, 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 I'm having this pain. Oh, COVID. So they want to test me for COVID. So this guy shoves this thing up my schnozzle and out the back of my head, tests the guy behind me, I think, with it, and yanks it back out. It was horrible. You guys know, if you've been through it, So it's negative. They do me a once over exam, can't find anything wrong, send me home. So now a few days is going by, I'm getting weaker. A friend of mine said, I see a naturopath. Why don't you go see what he has to say? He was able to get me in right away. And I have to say, I had never seen a naturopath before. He was awesome. He spent like an hour just asking me questions, and he examined me. He sent me in for blood work. He didn't even mention COVID. He's just going all this stuff. And he finds out that my thyroid is very angry and upset. So he prescribes me some kind of magical natural concoction until I can get in and see an actual thyroid doctor. So I go home, I call my primary, I get an appointment or referral or whatever, but the thyroid doctor can't see me for like another 3 or 4 weeks. So I start taking this concoction that the naturopath gave me. Well, the problem is whatever he gave me was too little too late. Within a couple of days, I can barely get out of bed. I walked to my family room, I sit in my recliner, and I couldn't get up. It was too much to even just like lean forward and get out of the recliner. So I called my 80-year-old mother who lived just a few blocks away, and I said, Mom, can you come get me and take me to the ER? I don't mean to bother you, and she knows I don't complain. I don't go to the doctor, none of this stuff. But if I'm calling her to come get me, she knows it's important. So she immediately races up there. She walks in and she looks so sad when she saw me, because it's not good seeing your little girl sick, even if your little girl is 50-some years old. So anyway, she literally, I put my arm over her shoulder and she gets me out to the car. I can't hardly walk. So I say, take me to a different ER. The last ones, they tried to kill me a couple times. So we go to the other ER, which is in another town. And immediately they want to start with the COVID stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't have COVID. That's not what this is, And my poor mom, I forgot to say, it's in the middle of winter by now. And my poor mom is having to sit outside in a tent because they won't let anyone in. She's 80 years old. Luckily, she brought a heavy coat. And she's going to sit there and wait. She's not going to leave me. So I go in, I tell them what the naturopath has told me. When I finally get someone who will listen. And they do more blood work. Well, now they're telling me that I'm headed into a thyroid storm. My thyroid is just really overactive. things are going out of control, blah, 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 blah. They get a hold of the doctor, the thyroid doctor I'm supposed to see in a few more weeks, and talk with her and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they give me some concoction that calms things down, and I start feeling a little bit better. So I wait the weeks that go by. I mean, I'm still not feeling 100%, but I'm able to function. And I finally get my appointment with the thyroid doctor, and it ends up being a virtual appointment because, you know, COVID. And so she doesn't even ever examine me the whole time I had her. I worked with her for a while and never ever met her in person. And the way it was explained to me, and I don't know much, but the way it was explained to me is that my thyroid just got crazy mad, went into what they call a thyroid storm, or the beginning of a thyroid storm. Anyway, it sounds like half of my thyroid just gave out, imploded on itself, and I think I only have half a thyroid that works functionally now. I don't know. But anyway, I'm on thyroid, hormones for probably the rest of my life now, as many middle-aged women are. Gee, I wonder why. Anyway, but I got through it, and so far, and that was in 2020, and now we're in 2024, and I've been pretty healthy the last few years. Knock on wood, right? But the main thing I want you to take from this is, number one, be your own advocate. Ask questions. You know, don't let them push you around and try to sell you medicine every time instead of, like I said, you know, there's a place for medicine and medical doctors, but I really liked the approach of the naturopath, how he actually got into the deep and dirty instead of just throwing me a pill. Also, attitude. Every one of my doctors throughout all of that crap said that my attitude and positivity and not dwelling on the fact that I was sick, but that I was finding a way to be better, not me using the sickness as my identity, but the fact that I was going to beat it was my identity. It wasn't like I walked around, oh, I've got cancer, or I tried to hide it as much as I could and just kept going forward and trying to just pretend it wasn't there and doing what I needed to do to fix it, but not allowing it to take me down emotionally. And they said, all of them said that type of attitude is what gets you through that stuff. Any three of those things could have killed me, and I wasn't having it. And here I am to tell you. So if you found this video helpful or even just entertaining, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button so that you can watch more videos that come out in the future. And I just want to give you tips to make your life a little easier. And this one is about being positive and not letting the world get you down and not letting sickness get you down. Because once you decide that you're a sick person, you're sick and you may not get better. So don't believe it.